Thank you, Dorothy. I got a little tired of listening to all of that. I'm sure my mother would be proud. You know, when I was in my 30s, I was a corporate whiz kid. One promotion after another. I could do no wrong. I was on a trajectory that was just like that. Before I was 40, I was running a $30 million division of a Fortune 500 company. My future looked bright. And I will never forget the day that it all came to an end. I was in Japan when I got that life-changing telephone call. I'd heard rumors for months, so I knew the call was coming, but I just didn't know when. But when it finally came, I was in shock. Business is bad, they said. We have to cut expenses. You are out of a job. I sat there for hours while the news sank in, thousands of miles from home in a foreign country, and out of a job and wondering, what do I do now? So there I was, the corporate whiz kid, unemployed at age 45. And it wasn't even my fault, it was just some corporate arbitrary decision. It was the biggest setback of my career, and it was a big one. Anybody ever been out of a job here? Anyone ever lose their job? Oh, come on, a room full of 200 people and no one ever lost their job? Terry has. Well, I guarantee you, if you haven't, sooner or later you will. Some corporate idiot, thousands of miles away, is going to decide to put a bullet in your career. Sooner or later, a recession, or a robot, or a third world country will destroy your job. Count on it. And I want you to be ready for it. Imagine how scared I was. I was afraid to call my wife and give her the bad news. I stayed awake many nights, wondering how I was going to feed my family. My whole career was crashing down around me. My wife was terrified, so they sent me to an outplacement company to help me find a job. Anyone ever been to one of those? No one's ever been to an outplacement company? These are the guys that are supposed to help you find a job when you're out of one. Pretty depressing place, let me tell you. Dozens of guys sat around a little room dialing for dollars hoping to get a job today. Well, the outplacement counselor gave me the standard operating procedure. Make 100 cold calls a day, every single day, and sooner or later you'll land a job. The odds will be in your favor. You get the picture, 100 times every day, times 5, times 30. In today's world, what they would tell you is submit 100 resumes a day on Indeed.com or Monster.com, and sooner or later you'll get a job. Well, every night I'd come home and my wife, my terrified wife, would ask me, how many cold calls did you make today? You know what my answer was? How many cold calls? Take a guess. It's all right, it's not a physics exam. Oh, now you've heard this before. How many? Yell it out. Zero. That's a great ask, because that was exactly the number I did. I didn't make one phone call. I didn't make one cold call. Do you know why? Because I'll be damned if I was going to put my future in the hands of 100 cold calls a day. In today's world, if I were you, I'd be damned if I'd put my future in the hands of a web crawler trolling your resume looking for keywords. But can I tell you a secret? I was prepared to lose my job that day. So I had a plan to deal with it. It was unconventional, to say the least. I decided that I wasn't going to look for a job at all. I was going to create my next job. I wasn't going to cold call. I wasn't going to be like 1,000 other applicants out there looking for a job. I decided I was going to create my next one, so I pretended to be a consultant. And I acted like one. I even made up business cards that said I was a consultant. And I called on employers, all right, but I wasn't asking for a job. I was offering to solve their most pressing problems, just like a consultant would. And that is exactly what you should do. When you go up job hunting, I don't want you to hunt. I want you to be unconventional. I want you to offer employers value that they can't get from the 1,000 other applicants and the 1,000 other resumes that they're going to see. Find out what their most pressing problems are, and then tell them how to solve them. Don't run with the herd. The herd will be waiting in line hoping for a job. Walk into interviews like a consultant would, with the answers to the problems. Break from the pack. The pack will wait to answer questions in the interview. You'll dazzle them with your solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, That's how you land a job. But you want to know how my story turned out? Well, everyone was against my consultant idea. Everyone thought it was just dumb. Everybody tried to talk me out of it, but I believed in it. And I believed I could make it work. And this is the most important thing I will say tonight. The biggest weapon, the most effective weapon in your career arsenal is your belief. Belief in your abilities, belief in your plans, but most importantly, belief in yourself. You must believe in yourself, especially when you don't know what to do. You must believe in yourself, especially when everything is crashing down around you. You must believe in yourself when no one else does, especially when no one else does. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build a career. So how did my belief work out that day so many years ago? Well, inside of 3 weeks, I was making more money as a pretend consultant than the company was paying me that gave me the boot. And inside of 2 months, I did land a pretty spectacular job, even though technically I wasn't looking for one. But you see, this story is not about me. This message is for you. If you're just starting out in your career, this message is for you. If you're starting your career again, this message is for you. If you're struggling with what to do next, this message is for you, and it's a shocking one. During your career, there will be 7 to 8 recessions, and most of them will wipe out your job. So you'll lose your job 4 to 5 times in your career. Just think about that. Just because of recessions alone, you'll lose your job at least 4 or 5 times. But recessions aren't the only threats to your career, are they? That smartphone that you've got in your pocket just turned out 10 years ago, and today it's a million times more powerful than all of NASA's computing power in 1969. 10 years ago, robots were incapable of anything but the simplest of tasks. Now they perform eye surgery. Tomorrow, they'll put surgeons out of work, and probably you too. So the point is, between recessions, third world labor, and technology, your career will have plenty of setbacks. So you need to get real good at preparing for them. So my question to you is this: how will you prepare for your setbacks? Well, I have a few ideas. Now, you could be like most people and think that your career and your education stops with your degree. Or you could be like successful people and you can realize your degree is only the beginning, not the end. Now, to be competitive in the 21st century, you must constantly upgrade your education, especially in the fields of medicine and technology. If you just got an associate degree, please take my advice and start working on your bachelor's right away. Don't wait 5 to 10 years to go get that and then lose out on a job to the person that's got a bachelor's degree. So every day you have to start thinking about, how can I be better tomorrow than I was today? What can I do to upgrade my skills? Because the chances are someday your career survival will depend upon it. Now, you can be like most people and hope the Chinese don't take your job. Or you could be like successful people and you could be prepared to go after your next job wherever and whenever you need to. So keep your skills sharp so you can beat out that new college grad who's going to be competing against you for the next job that you have to find. You can be like most people and hope the next recession doesn't take it either. Or you can be like successful people and make yourself so valuable to your employer that your job is recession-proof. How do you do that? Work harder than they expect you to. Find problems to solve that aren't in your job description and aren't any of your business. Invent novel and surprising ways to add value, and this is the most important point of all: do whatever you have to when you get in the workplace to be better at what you do than anybody else. That's the model you should have. And finally, you can be like most people and be defeated by your setbacks, or you can be like successful people who turn setbacks into opportunities. Do you think Oprah Winfrey had setbacks? Was she defeated by them? Of course not. Do you suppose Mark Zuckerberg had a few setbacks? Or maybe a few hundred setbacks? Was he defeated by those? No. He kept going. He didn't give up after the first one or the 100th one. Do you think Peyton Manning waltzed onto the field and said on every game, "Geez, I hope I don't have any setbacks in this game"? Of course he didn't think that. He knew there would be setbacks in every game, and he was prepared for them. And when they did turn up, he turned them into scoring opportunities. But here's the point. Don't be defeated by your setbacks. Be prepared and turn them into scoring opportunities, because that's what successful people do. In closing, let me ask you a question. How do you feel tonight? Is this an audience of graduates or an oil painting? How do you feel tonight? I can't hear you. One more time. That's good, because you don't want me to have to make you stand up. So let's try one more time. How are you feeling tonight? Okay, so you're feeling pretty proud, huh? Feeling pretty good, are you? This is what I want you to do. I want you to hold on to that feeling. I want you to hold on to the feeling that you have right now for the rest of your life, because you can call on it when you need it. Just keep remembering, when you get out in the world and you feel scared, and you will, just remember how you're feeling tonight. It'll strengthen you. When you get out in the world and you get discouraged, and you will, remember how you feel tonight. It'll give you courage. And when you get out in the world and you have a setback, or a bunch of setbacks, and you will, just remember how you feel tonight. Thank you.
Hit it on the mark. Steve, I sat in awe listening to it and thinking to myself that, yes, I've been without a job, and I was the one making the phone calls, and instead I should have been the one that was the consultant. And it was just one of those moments where the light came on, and I wish I'd have thought of it years ago. So very relevant to where our students are today and where the world is today.
Well, now that you've graduated from Southeast Tech, what's your plan?
Work for Miller for a little bit more, get some more certifications, then move to Austin, Texas.
When do you think you might do that?
Hopefully sometime this fall.
And why do you want to move to Austin? What's the big deal about Austin?
No winter.
No winter. Can I come with you?
Sure. They'll pay for rent.
How was your experience at this college? How would you rate the school?
It was an awesome experience. Like people like Terry, Nate Emerson, big help.
Yep. All good guys. They were all telling me what a great kid you were.
Yep.
So, and I only had to pay them $20 a piece to say that.
I had to pay them some money too.
You can't, honey. Well, how do you feel now that Steven's graduated?
Oh, are you interviewing me? Oh.
Yeah.
I feel very happy. I'm happy for him. He's worked hard, and he deserves everything he is going to get in the future.
He really has worked hard, and he found his sweet spot in IT. He used to be in sales and marketing, and that was not his passion. IT really is. He's been on the dean's list, 3 times, maybe 4 times now?
4 times dean's list since he made the switch, and it clicks. It just clicks.
Yeah, so he'll be in his element in Austin when he moves to Austin.
Definitely, and we'll be down there to visit.
Every winter.
Stephen R. Blue. Nursing, Associate of Science. Nora J. Myers. Kara Louise Daisy. Christine Marie Mel. April Lynn Elliott.
Way to go, Steve.